Welcome everyone to your favorite part of the week, yet another Tech Friday. Yay! Today's show we'll be talking about the Android show. Apple updates all its OSs. Insta 360 has a new retro bundle. Elgato is planning a sale. What's going on with Stream Elements? And you can buy your own mech. So let's dive on in. First up, the Android show. Earlier this week, Google had a bunch of announcements around Android, and because next week is their big developers conference called Google I/O, but they did a mini conference just announcing Android stuff. The big thing out of all this to talk about, and I'll post this link in chat. This article comes to us via Engadget. The big thing, the first thing to talk about is the Google Book. And you can see kind of what it'll look like here, what some of the interface looks like. There'll be a glow bar on the top, and it's designed with designed for Gemini intelligence, so it'll be loaded with Gemini. And we're going to talk about this for a minute. So the Google Book, which by the way is a horrible name, because there's the Google Books on the Android Play Store, and I think there's a search thing in Google to search for books also with a similar name. I don't know what they were thinking. And they'll have this little bar of light at the top of it on everything labeled a Google Book. So, you know, Dell, Asus, all those people, anyone making a Google Book they'll have this little bar of light. So you can show everyone that you have a Google Book by annoying them with a little bar of light on top of your machine. Also, it is built for Gemini intelligence, and Paxson AI, and I'm not sure if they weren't paying attention to Microsoft and Copilot, and that Microsoft is backing away from all the Copilot integrations, or they think they'll just have it different. Don't know, but there's that. And one feature they're touting as, you know, cool new feature that personally I would find kind of annoying is that if you wiggle your mouse back and forth, the cursor will then have a little Gemini context window pop up. And so you can interact with Gemini in that way. You know how often I wiggle my cursor at things? That sounded dirty. But anyway, just idly, you know, moving cursor, and then Gemini pops up, and you're like, I don't need you right now. I do it all the time because I lose track of where it is, right? Like I have Power Toys on my Windows machine, and with that, there's an option I can hit Control twice, and it will highlight where my mouse is, which I love. And if you don't have something like that, then, you know, yeah, you're going to wiggle your mouse around, and then you're going to activate this little thing for Gemini. And then also another thing Gemini Intelligence will do is it will allow you to build little apps in it. So you can make a little reminder app or a special calendar app, you know, just by interacting with Gemini, typing in some stuff, and you have a little thing now on your desktop. That's the clock you just made for some reason. When you have a perfectly good clock app, you can add things to. Also, the other thing is the Google Book will put together Chrome OS and Android. They've been behind the scenes internally. They've been calling it Aluminum OS or Aluminium, depending where you are in the world, OS. That might not be the name it launches with, so we don't know that. Not sure on pricing, but they're probably looking at that MacBook Neo market and seeing how successful that was. I'm sure they planned this out, you know, a year ago before they knew Apple had the Neo announcement, and then they're looking at the Neo announcement saying, oh, we got this thing coming out. Are we still in a competitive space with that thing? Are we still in competitive space with Neo? Because if you're looking to replace Chromebooks with this Google Book, and by the way, they're still going to be making Chromebooks, so absolutely no marketing confusion will happen there. And yeah, it's a new OS. It'll kind of be like the Android desktop OS that's available now, when you can, you know, plug in your phone to a screen and have this sort of desktop experience using your Android phone. So current understanding is it'll be something like that, something like Chrome OS, except kind of put together how it all actually works. There aren't any test units out or anything, so we don't know any of that. We don't know pricing yet, and it might be a capable machine. The hardware inside could be pretty good, could run all right. Not sure exactly what the internals are going to be yet either, and because there's going to be a bunch of different manufacturers of these Google Books, we'll probably have a lot of different hardware models to try to poke at and guess. But since it's in that Chromebook space, it's hard not to see it as a competitor to the MacBook Neo. And I'm looking at this and wondering who is the audience for a Google Book? I'm not sure, because we have Chromebooks. Now you have this Google Book thing, and you've laden it heavily with Gemini intelligence, and you have all these other products, all this other software that has Google and Book somewhere in the name. So who's going for this? I don't know the question this answers. I don't know how powerful it will be. AI tech bros who want to make silly pictures with no talent, but on the go. Right? Exactly. So again, I can't comment on how powerful the machine is, just based on the branding and where it's going to be in the current market positioning. I'm not sure how this places. So once there starts to be review units out of these, we'll talk about it again. But that was probably one of the large announcements out of the Android show, was the Google Book. And there were actual other Android announcements, because Android 17 is coming up. People who want to prompt not write a screenplay at the coffee shop, right? Oh, I missed a comment from you, Rex, earlier. Come on, Cap, cooperate. Things you can say to a pop or to an adventure during Civil War. Nice. All right. So they did have some actual Android 17 announcements. And one of those announcements was 3D emoji. Yay. So now there'll be 3D emoji in your Android phone, because why not? They're also going to have something called Rambler TTS, which is a speech-to-text feature powered once again by Gemini intelligence, aimed to remove filler words, clarify what you're trying to say, and pause point, designed to help you use your phone more intentionally. Basically kind of a Pomodoro timer, and they just named it pause point. But here's the thing. Where's my cursor? It won't be super easy to turn off pause point entirely. You need to restart your phone to do so. So why are you... Wow, that's a lot. Another thing will be... Seriously, yeah, right? Another thing will be screen reactions, and you'll be able to record yourself and your screen simultaneously. So if you have a document or you have a video you're watching on your phone, you can place yourself in front of the video and do like a reaction video, or tell people what they need to change in a document and record yourself looking at things, scrolling through a thing. And so screen reactions, yeah, now you can just do that wherever. When you want to make a React video, you can do it on the go. And also, Google is kind of teaming up with Apple a little bit with something called Quick Share, which will have compatibility with AirDrop, so you can easily get your files to where you need them. If you have, if you're a multiple OS household, you can more easily get files from your Android to your Mac and vice versa. Let's see here. Okay, that makes sense, but the having to reboot your phone, can think of times where I need to do something as an emergency, right? And yeah, instead of resetting your phone, like you say, JD, you didn't say tell your phone to not let you use certain apps after 10 p.m. And when you were out, all you had to do was long hold to say, let me use this thing, so you could message hubs. Why make it a phone reset? That seems overly complex. Also, there's going to be Instagram editing tools in Android natively. A bunch of security updates, as you would hope when Android updates itself. And also, they're Google is overhauling Android Auto. Of course, they'll have more Gemini in it as well. But it's doing something called immersive navigation, which, according to the article on Engadget, is a 3D view that shows structures and terrain, along with details like road lanes, signs, and traffic lights. And because of Gemini, you'll be able to create custom widgets for Android Auto as well. So that is all the news coming out of Android, the Android show. Next week is Google I/O, so we'll be talking about that and all the other things Google announces at their big show of the year. Next up is Apple. They have made announcements of updates for all of their OSs, OSI, OSEs. What's the multiple of OSs? Multiple for OS. I don't know. So there's updates with iOS, macOS, iPadOS, bringing them all to 26.5. This is courtesy of Ars Technica, and it, again, as this headline says here, or the subheading says, probably the last big updates we'll see before the next versions appear at Worldwide Developers Conference, which is Apple's big show of the year. And at WWDC, they'll probably be announcing all their OSs is to version 27. So a lot of this is in preparation for that. Security updates. As you can see here, watchOS is now at 26.5, tvOS, visionOS, all the OSs. And this one includes end-to-end encryption for RCS messaging, which is pretty awesome. There are Pride-themed wallpapers available. I think they are in the iPad OS. But if you update and have one of the various Apple devices with another one of the OSs, check it out, because they'll have some Pride-themed wallpapers you can add to, or you can make your wallpaper. That's how wallpapers work. And various bug fixes. Again, this is all to build up to the OS 27. And if you want more coverage on what they went over, there's that. And I believe WWDC is next week, so we'll have Google I/O and WWDC to talk about next week. So a lot of announcements will be coming up next week as well. Be another packed episode of stuff. Moving right along, we have the Insta360 as a retro bundle out, which this looks cool. So the Insta360 Go 3S is a kind of a pill-shaped camera that you can just attach, and it does the normal Insta360 stuff, gives you that fisheye view and go outdoors and film stuff and everything. And it's a great looking device. But what they did was they added a thing to it to give you kind of a old school camera vibe. I'll show you here. So this is the Retro Bundle Special Edition. And the big thing is, so this is the camera here, but this thing that's surrounding the camera is the important bit to all this. So this top part that all the colors are blasting out of is a physical viewfinder. You look through this and you can see what you're shooting through here. There is not a digital viewfinder on this. Also, if you want to put this in front of you and do like a selfie, you can there's a cover for this top part that you put on to block the light, and then this front bit becomes a mirror, so you can see yourself as you position for a selfie view, and you can see all the bits here. They give you a battery pack, so you can, like, this holds a charge independently, but you can also add this battery pack to the back of the main unit. This is also compatible with a variety of Insta360 stands and all that, and I think it's just really charming. Plus, you transfer video via NFC from the camera to your phone. They have an app, and you can also use your phone as a digital viewfinder as well. If you don't want to use the retro viewfinder, you can. But there's a strap, a magnetic pendant, and we can see all the videos. There's the built-in mirror for selfies. Again, looking at the old school framing, reimagined, looking through the viewfinder top. And what they don't show here is that they covered up that top to get the mirror effect to work. Otherwise, the light's going to come down through the top and kind of interfere with reflection. That's just a little plastic cover you put over the top of that. There it is. Battery pack gives you 76-minute runtime. It's thin. We can see more of their promotional images. Single button operation. And then there's their quick preview with NFC. So I thought this was pretty neat. And if you want this bundle, it's available for $2.99 right now, which is a good deal because you're getting the camera and all this other stuff with it. Or they have a standard bundle, which has this digital flip screen. You're not getting the neat retro thingies, but you're getting a digital flip screen and you attach it to that. Or you can just buy the camera for, I don't know how much just the camera is. There's different colors, and I think there are different sizes, memory sizes too. And yeah, I just thought that was a neat thing. But yeah, let's see here. The Retro Bundle Special Edition, is that the one where they introduced Cameo, right? So yeah, if you're looking for a neat on-the-go camera, the Retro Bundle would be a pretty cool option if you can swing it. Or even if you want to spend a little less and just get the camera, that's a nice-looking camera too. The video quality from it's pretty good. All right, moving along, we have Elgato. It will be Elgato Week next week, May 18th through the 24th. There's their main webpage. They're going to have their annual 7 days of savings. You can see the countdown timer right there. You can get an alert if you want to. So if you're looking for some Elgato gear, like, maybe you want a new Stream Deck because they have that new Stream Deck available. And wouldn't a new Stream Deck be cool to your already 5 versions of the Stream Deck that you have? I'm not talking for myself. So if you're looking for Elgato products, that'd be probably some good deals there. Okay, this week's big topic that just occurred yesterday is that Stream Elements. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Stream Elements, it is a website that provides a bunch of tools for streamers and can set up alerts and do all that stuff. And there was paid stuff, and there were activations that weren't great deals that you could do and things like that. And they've been around for a number of years now. However, they are looking for someone to buy them. They are shutting down. They're going to sunset its creators, their creator tools. So if you're looking for, if you need anything out of the Stream Elements website, you have 30 days to download everything from it. So get on that. Don't wait around. And they are currently looking for a buyer to try to keep them, to keep it going, or maybe the assets are just bought and we never hear the name Stream Elements again. Who knows what's going to happen? And if you want a lot more context from this, Zach Bussey does a really good job of going over this in a video he released just earlier today. So bookmark this video. Don't watch it now. Watch it after the stream. But there's Zach's overview of what happened from the rumor he first heard yesterday to the definite, here's the thing. No, this is actually happening. That happened around like 2 a.m. Early this morning, last night, early morning in there. And this is interesting concerning. Let me pull up. There was a thread, Blue Sky thread, and some people did have other options. So if you're curious at them, they're both kind of being developed right now. One's, they're independent creators. So one thing you sorry, I lost my place. So independent creators, one of them, you have to subscribe to their Ko-Fi for $5 to get beta access, which is fine. I mean, it's one person doing this stuff, right? But there were a couple messages around those things, so I'm just going to post link to those Blue Sky messages. The first one, which looks kind of neat, is called Slime 2 Desktop. And again, this is overlay widgets, and this will be overlay widgets and custom bot widgets. So it could be instead of using streamer bot type thing, you are using this. But there's their Blue Sky message, all about that one. And then Nick posted another one for us to look at over on GitHub called Clawfee, CLAWFFEE. And this one uses, what is he using? Yeah, it uses JavaScript snippets. And so if you're into programming those things, here's the Blue Sky message to that. Oops, one moment. Why didn't that? Copy link, paste the link. There we go. Yeah, that post. Yeah, that's the right link. Okay, so thanks to Nick for bringing that to my attention. So if you're looking for Stream Elements replacements, maybe one of those will come up. You can buy a mech if you have $650,000. Here's the article over on Fast Company. And as you can see, it's by Unitree Robotics, the GD01, 10 foot tall commercial grade mecha. Does a bipedal and a quadruped mode. There it is. There's a regular human standing next to it. You climb into it. It looks really awkward. I'll share the video link in a moment. But you can climb into it. The video shows it punching a brick wall and the wall just collapsing. And the video shows it walking around with the pilot going around. When it's on all fours mode is weird because the cage and everything, the pilot is looking up at the sky. And I don't know if they have a view of anything else, but they're basically on their backs looking up. And yeah, you can have kind of a exosuit mecha thing if you want. Oh yeah, here they have can see the GIF here of it transforming. So there's the pilot's head, and the pilot's head is here looking up while it's moving forward. That wall had no mortar holding it together, right? Yeah, so don't like crab crawly things. Okay, we'll get off that. But they're targeting the GD01 at high value markets, cultural tourism, private use, emergency rescue, and industrial special operations. But when people do it, it freaks you out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, understood. Yeah. So, and they provide us another animated GIF of the thing. Let me shrink a window here so I can. So yeah, here's the pilot walking down. It looks hard to get into. They didn't make an easy thing. The guy in the video actually climbs in, puts his legs up over this rail on the side, and then slides into it. Didn't even really have a ladder or anything, just kind of clambered up there and got in. And yeah, it's of course going to be expensive. And then there's some other discussion from Fast Company about it. But yeah, so get your own mech at the low price of $650,000. Time to use in military police, 0, right? So here is those animated GIFs were all taken from this video here. Again, we'll put this video in a tab, watch it later after the show. I'd appreciate that. But there's the official video by Unitree Robotics. Oh, it weighs 1,102 pounds. So easily transportable to your location, clearly. And probably some different price points depending on what you get. Like this article by Fast Company puts the price at around $574,000. So, some variety there. And start your own life in your own personal mech. Take it to the store. I have seen you pick up a city bus to save the people inside from Kaiju DC. So this is light for you. This is true. You have. And carry multiple 12 packs of soda in one trip, right? Just, you need water for the softball game. Take your mech. All right. How does it do in water, I wonder? Ooh, I don't know. That'll require more testing. So someone spend a bunch of money, get this, and put it in water for us. We need to know how it works in big puddles and maybe a flooded area. That'd be great to know for science. And because it would be a cool video and get a lot of views. So, it's worth the money. All right. And finally, this is a thing I have going on. I'm going to have a panel at Gen Con, y'all. So press buttons, make magic, how to produce a TTRPG stream will once again be at Gen Con. This time it's early. It's Friday at 8 a.m. That's 8 a.m. convention time, or EDT, if you will. So there's a link to it. If you want to get tickets, you can add stuff to your wish list now. And then I think this Sunday is when everything goes live. And, you know, if you're really looking for an event, be at your machine Sunday around noon to click the thing. On tonight's top mecha, Rex goes toe-to-toe with the KX-140 in a foot race, and DC water tests the GD1. Congrats on the panel. Thanks. Yeah. I like doing it every year. And this might be, I don't know, my 7th year of doing this. And probably around the 12th time I've run this panel at a convention, because I've run it at other conventions. So yeah, if you want to learn all about producing a TTRPG stream, an actual play, come see the panel. We'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about live versus recorded as well. So something a little new this year, throwing in the recorded bit. Usually I just go over, okay, the show is live, what are you going to do? But gonna add a little more to it this year. So if you or anyone you know is interested in that, please hit that link, grab a ticket. Be wonderful to see you there. And I'll be the one looking kind of like this. All right, that wraps it up for Tech Friday this week. If you're watching over on YouTube, on the VOD, thank you for watching. And come back next week for another episode of Tech Friday. And check out the previous videos over there. And subscribe to my channel there. Do the things. That'd be great. See you next week.